like the inventor or the kind of, the credentials he has. He was not like recognized by the industry in a right way. So I completely believe that why Craig was always preferred to keep being himself anonymous. So when I first read about it, I was not super surprised, and I felt that this news is probably right.
Thank you, Mr. Yousuf. I have no further questions, but please hang on.
Advokat Haukås.
Hi. Hi, Mr. Yousuf. My name is Ørjan Haukås, and I'm the attorney for Mr. Magnus Granath in this case. I'll just ask you a few questions. The company that you started with, Dr. Wright, you said that was a company that later turned into Coin. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So that
was renamed as Coin.
At the time you started it, was it then called Strasan?
That's correct.
Okay. Can we please take up the bundle, B bundle? For han ser han det.
Ja, det skal vi få til.
I just want to show you a document and ask you a few questions about that, if that's okay.
Page
2176.
Hvis vi kan få det opp på våre skjermer også, det er svart.
Ja.
Fordi
Okay. Kan jeg få en tommel fra publikum?
Can you see the document, Mr. Yousuf?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so this is a document from the Australian tax authorities, and they say something about the company Strasan. It was registered with Australia.
Correct.
And this is the company that you were forming, and it said here it's formed on 21st of July 2011. Do you think that's
correct?
About correct? And
that's correct.
And how long after this did you? So you said you quit the company or resigned from the company at some point.
No, I didn't resign from the company. I left because we found a company with a vision, and we couldn't find Craig committed, because Craig was very busy with quite a few research and other topics. And so I decided to kind of take up the job because I was running out of, cash.
Yeah, okay. I'm just wondering, when were you no longer sort of a director of this company, Strasan? Can you remember?
2013 or 14, maybe.
Okay.
I don't remember exact date, but yeah, after a couple of years. But company was there. I left. I left for Malaysia in 2011.
Okay. So if you scroll a little bit down on the page, can you still read the document, or is it too small now?
If you can zoom in.
Hvor vil du?
Purported R&D activity. And it says here on the 7th of October 2013, the taxpayer, which is then Strasan and later Coin, applied to register a project named Sukuripu Okane. Is that a project that you are familiar with?
No, I'm not familiar. I'm not directly familiar with this project, but I was shared the document by Craig where he mentioned about this.
Okay, so you don't know anything about this project?
No, I don't know anything about this project.
But you were a director of the company at this point. Is that correct?
That's correct. I was a director, and Craig was the director as well.
Okay, and on page 2177 on the top, there's an explanation of the project of what's done in line 39.1 and 39.2. Is this something that you're familiar with?
Yes. So as I mentioned, that Craig did share and gave me a view of the business, but I was not directly involved in the project.
So you can't tell me anything about this activities?
No. No. When I visited Craig in 2012, he did mention that he is setting up, coin or Bitcoin infrastructure, and he is building some supercomputer to do that. That's the best I know, and he has shared all these documents, but I was not directly involved in the project.
Okay, and then in line 46, we can see that Ås Industry made some findings related to this alleged activity, and they didn't find any evidence that the company conducted any business related to the three topics that we just mentioned. Were you aware of that?
No, as I mentioned that I was aware of the project, I was not directly involved, and I know Craig was building some of these stuff. And when I visited, he gave me a rundown. I went through and met the team, but I was working in Malaysia.
Okay. And then if we go to page 2179, in line 55, it says the taxpayer advised that Dr. Wright for the taxpayer and Dr. Dave Kleiman had been negotiating a V&K to support EAAS services in March 2012. Is this something you're familiar with?
Yes, I have read about it, but I was not directly involved.
Then it says the taxpayer decided to acquire services are supported by board meeting notes from a meeting between Dr. White,
Yes.
Ms. Watts, and Mr. Yousuf. It says 5th of June 2012.
Yes. So basically, when I met Craig, there was a discussion about some of these research, some of these papers we have in Stressen. We should probably kind of do some transfer. And I was, because not directly involved, I also discussed with Craig about leaving the company.
Okay, so you did have a board meeting.
Nå ser jeg at Sinclair har logget seg på. Nå forsvant han igjen. Da kan du fortsette.
So you remember this board meeting, but you didn't really know anything about the purported contract or anything like that?
Yes. So that was the time I was visiting Malaysia, I believe, and Craig, invited me to office, and I met few people and gave me a rundown. As I said, I was not directly involved in the project because I was working in Malaysia.
Okay.
Because I was the director, so he invited me.
Okay. Is it fair to say that even though you were a director, you didn't really know anything about the business that the company did?
No, that's not fair to say, because as I said that, Craig did kept me informed, but I was not directly involved.
Okay, but all your information came from Craig, is that correct?
That's correct. And by his team, I think there were some team members which he connected me. I don't recall. There were some people who were working in the company who forwarded some documents to me.
Okay, no further questions for me.
Thank you. There seems to be no more questions for you. Is there anything you haven't been asked that you would like to share with the court?
No, Your Honor. I believe I shared whatever was relevant. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for participating. You are now done.